following story is Scary Ride. From my bed, the sunlight was on my face. I woke up. My neck turned with my head on it, and there it was, my playfully painted pale white wall with wonderful drywall. I screamed out of bed and landed my fleshy feet forward for my familiar foot fabrics, commonly known as slippers. As I felt the chilling chill of chilled cold, I became very hot and walked over there. The next 2 years went by like a blur, but this is about last year. My bed, which had me in it, would soon be without me as sunlight hit my face, and I was risen, and now it is so. My head turned with my neck underneath it, and there it would have been. The drywall was not infinite in this world due to its impossible disappearance. I cried for what felt like hours. The next day, I left my room.
I think forgetting something was what I just did,
I shouted loudly to myself, and then I returned to my room. The next 3 years went by what felt like days, and this is now about next year. I have been counting the minutes since the years passed, and I have decided to consume breakfast items. There was a mother who was breathing and awaiting my consummation of food. My mother that has skin and eyes had prepared a human meal of edible ingredients arranged in a fashion that would allow consumption. Inside my organs and blood vessels, my knowledge made it apparent that God was watching with his skinned lips and an upside-down frown. My stomach destroyed the hot ingredients that were heated, but not before they cooled down in my esophagus. I smiled with the teeth that existed in my mouth, and my mother would not leave. The path I would take from my education center was very short, but would take long if traveled the wrong way. I decided to remain affected by gravity and allow my body to move itself across the coordinate plane of Earth. A hasty decision, but I knew how important this was. It was impossible to be there because I was here and not there. Richard laughed. I decided to take the route home that would not be correct, and through the use of more than one eye, I noticed a mound of dirt in the most dangerous alley in the world. My brain continued to exist in my skull, which lied underneath my skin, and I told myself that this dirt existed in 1923. As someone who was me approached the mound of nothing but dirt, I noticed a lab coat sprawled out on the inverse of sky. I was forced against my will to display a reaction towards comedy, and noises not from my mouth came from Richard. I would reach home within 57 years, and I talked to my not-dead mother about this.
Sweetie,
she shouted quietly,
this is the lab coat of a doctor that went missing several years ago. I doubt he has any memory of what happened. This is similar to mentions of a lot of people disappearing suddenly, and yesterday I found a bunch of small objects ruined in the park,
she quietly shouted.
Go check the basement and see the surprise.
She winked with less than 3 eyes. The opposite of bravery overwhelmed me, and I came to terms with the facets of God and Satan. Reality would find me in front of the basement door. Turning, the doorknob, which was covered in my epidermic skin, revolved to reveal the really real and rusty basement pathway. I did the opposite of going up, and it felt like years, and after less than 5 hours, I was definitely not in the kitchen, nor the basketball court. School could not be in this basement, nor could a nearby pharmacy. I came to the bottom of the stairs and looked beyond into the darkness. There, In the center of the room was a small beetle with the large head of a dentist. It smiled at me, and I realized that all my friends have been turned into wolves. And then I heard its awful voice.
We need to see the red shirt with all kinds of funny colors.
My skin expelled all liquid waste through every pore, and the beetle decided to end my life by being killed by the killing beetle. Heaven or hell, who's really pulling the strings?
Fuck it. Was God lying?
Maybe you should ask the devil. Or should I say, his son.